Hey everyone, good evening. Just turning everything on a couple minutes early, just a couple, so we can make sure that everything is working. I always get paranoid that things are going to stop working on me. That's just how I am. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you are doing well. I already drank my tea, so I just have water this evening. That's okay. Hello, hello, everyone. As you come in, hi, Sandy. How are you today? You guys have to let me know if it's freezing cold where you are, or if it's just here that it's freezing cold, because it's freezing cold. Hi, Karen. Things are okay. We're getting through. Okay, so we'll give everybody one more minute to kind of get in, get a hot drink, get settled. We'll go through our bundle. We're going to make a super cute card tonight. I love tonight's card. So let's start with our bundled products. So we do have some like extras, little things I'm going to use. And kind of the cool thing is that I've been working ahead on bundles and projects. So as we go through here, I'm going to tell you what products from this bundle. If you get this bundle, you might want to set aside some of it because we're going to use it again next week. But it's not part of the bundle. So I hope that makes sense. I'll tell you as it gets. Hi, Cherie. How are you tonight? Karen says it's going to be in the 30s in Florida. Karen, right now where I am, it's single digits. The wind chill, in fact, it might be that it has gone negative. It is exactly 0 in my part of the world. Sandy says it's cold where she is. Yep. That's where I'm at, Sandy. It's like -20 with the wind chill. Hi, Dana. So glad you're here tonight. Okay, let's talk about our bundle. So look at how huge this bundle is. Like, it's so big, and it's $40. So the regular price on all the products altogether would be $106, and it's $40 just this week. So go grab this one. This is such a good one. Perfect for winter. Okay, so we have 2 packs of paper. We have the Perfect Blend cardstock, which is created for coloring with alcohol markers, but we're going to do ink blending with it, and I think it's lovely for that too. This is the Midnight cardstock, so a pretty deep, dark blue cardstock. There is this Warm Winter Wishes. You get the stamp set and the die set. I love this stamp set. This is actually, so this project was the first time I'd ever used it, and now I want to use it on like 100 other things. Like, it was so fun to play with. The Mittens cutting die, which was part of the inspiration box last month. So that's part of our bundle tonight. These fun snowflake masks, we're going to play with those today. And then we have lots of consumable kind of mixed media goodies. So even if you have these in your stash, you're still getting an amazing price on them. So, and you can never have too much. So we have Peacock Chroma Mist. We have embossing powder in Sterling and in Icicle. We have some snow paste and some glitter glaze in alabaster. So tons of fun things. And you can always find a link to the bundle in the description box. You'll also find a link to the collection for tonight, which includes all the products individually. And I think Heather usually puts a couple extras in there too. And there's a code you can use as well. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done some things ahead of time for tonight's project, just so that we can move a little faster, get done in an hour by the magic of TV and stuff. We're going to start with this Perfect Blend cardstock. Karen says, you guys are my heroes. Well, thank you. Uh, Ellen is in Texas. She says, we are not okay. Not even Florida has 30 degrees to share till Friday. Oh. Sandy says that's a fantastic price, and she is correct. I got your bundle the other week with the the knit heart stencil. Oh my gosh, that one is fabulous too. I love that stamp set. And that knit stencil. Okay, so this is the perfect blend cardstock. I'm going to cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And this is going to be our card panel size for tonight. Yes, Ellen, yeah, you have to drip your faucets. We drip our faucets here too. And yeah, it's okay. I actually another thing that I guess I don't know, maybe my grandmother taught me was to like do laundry during the day, like anything to get the water, to keep the water flowing in your house. So I don't know. But yes. Okay. So let's talk about our snowflake masks. So this is not part of the bundle tonight, but I'm going to use it. I have the GBiv Simple Blend ink pad here, and I have my blue Christopher Allen blending brush. And I put 4 masks. So what I did was I put a little bit of tape runner adhesive on the back, and then I take my finger and I kind of just like catch it with my finger so it's not sticky. It's just a little sticky. And then I'm going to use that. And you could put these masks anywhere you like, anywhere that you think they will look good on your card. You know, the ink, the Simple Blend ink did stain my masks, which I'm totally fine with. It didn't even bother me in the least. I just did my ink blending and then went ahead and washed these off, and they stayed to blue, which I'm totally cool with. Hi, Penny. How are you tonight? I'm so glad you're here, Penny. I'm always so happy when you come to my lives. Okay, so for the masks, like I said, there's a little bit of tacky kind of just tape run on the back that you can put it on your pants even just to unstick it enough so it's just repositionable and not like stuck there. And then the best way to do this, you want to take and load up your brush, start in the middle of each of the snowflakes and work your way out. I don't want this to be completely covered, so it's totally fine. We just want to get the look of the snowflakes. So start in the middle of the mask and then just take your blending brush, start at the center and kind of go out. And then it'll be a little bit darker in the center, which is good. And it'll be a little bit lighter on the edges. So we're just going to do that for all of the masks. And then I'm actually going to move this one up here. And it looks really good when they sort of stay off, kind of fly off the edge of the paper, which is a really good look. It's almost like you're making your own kind of pattern paper. So you want to start in the middle of each snowflake and then work your way out. And these brushes are absolutely the most perfect thing to do this with, because they're just like a little pencil, and they don't have a lot of, because they're so, small. This one came off, but that's okay. Oh, yeah. I think, Penny, it's probably really cold where you are too. Yep. Did you, for those of you in Florida and Texas, did you remember to bring in your plants? Do you have to bring in your plants? I had to bring in my plants. Well, or cover them, I guess. I mean, I always have my fig tree that I bring in all winter long. And how's everyone's animals dealing with the cold? Mine are not happy. Okay. We're just going to keep going here. You could overlap these. You could do, I'm leaving kind of white space around my snowflakes. You could let the snowflakes just bleed into each other. Like you could just keep putting more and more ink. And for the snowflakes, I am really taking, so the Simple Blend has the 3 colors in it, right? And so the purple and the green and then the blues in the middle. And I'm just taking from the blue. That's how I'm getting this kind of deep, dark, bright blue. I'm not venturing into the green or the purple areas. You can kind of see what we have here. I'm going to pull this one up, and then I'm going to place it up here. Give it a little push down. And then I have my stencil, lovely stencil cleaner up here in the little bin, so I can just toss all of those masks right into there, which I love. Forgot to take off my watch. So again, just start from the middle and work your way out to the edge. Okay. There we go. Now for the big reveal. All the little, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to use it on another part of our card for tonight. I'm leaving down here empty because I know that I'm going to fill this in with, it's going to get covered over and covered up anyway. So, but there you go. How cute is that? So tonight, I don't have a lot of TV magic to show you because I'm actually going to do some of this card, and we're going to use the paste and the glazes, and they're still going to be wet when we put the card together. So that'll be fun. Okay, so we need those. So off camera, I did the die cutting that I needed to do and some of the embossing. We're going to do some of the embossing too. So I cut the mittens from the Midnight cardstock, and I heat embossed and die cut one of the stamp sets with the silver embossing powder. And both of these are in our project or in the product bundle. And then I have my card base. So let's start, because This is going to be a little bit wet. We're going to start with our little hands holding the mug. So I love the images, but I also know that some of us don't like to color too much. I don't mind coloring, but I wanted to do something that would be a little bit different, something that you could do, that anyone could do, that would still look amazing, and that without needing to have some coloring skills. So this is what I came up with. I have the little, this is called Stick and Stamp, the pigment palette. Love these. I actually have like 3 or 4 of these in my craft room, and I use them. I know I've said that before and showed you guys before. I use multiples of these for so many different things. So, okay, hold on. I want to catch up on all the dog comments. I love the dogs. I bet, Benny. I bet that was a shock. Ellen says she doesn't have any plants to bring in, and her pets live inside anyway. So my dogs live inside too, but man, they do not like the cold. I will tell you that. They go out, they do their business, and they come screaming back in the house. Oh, that's nice. Karen said she wants cold resistant landscaping. Karen said her dog loves it, and Ellen's dog is confused. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you about my dogs. Dean has to fight with her dog who's a husky mix. Oh, Sandy says she's a pit bull. That's what I have, Sandy. She says her pit bull wants to eat snow, and her chow chow doesn't seem to be as concerned about the cold as me. Yeah. So I have a mini dachshund and a pit bull lab mix. My mini dachshund loves snow, loves snow. He thinks snow is the coolest thing ever. He goes outside, he jumps around in it. It's like the best thing ever. Andre, my pit bull, thinks snow is the devil. He races back in, and he comes in, and he's cold, and he's whining, and he's mad because he's wet, and he's mad because his feet are cold. Like it's like this whole drama queen situation. This big pit bull lab mix. He's like 90 pounds, and he's just not interested. He's like, no. But my little doxy will play out in the snow. So funny. Okay, so I took the time it took me to mix this all up. I read those comments. This is the Peacock Chroma Mist. This peacock and the dragon fruit, I think, are my 2, and sunrise. And sunrise is actually one of the ones that I think they've retired now. Those 3 are my absolute favorite chroma mists. I love them so much. So we added peacock to this one, and while I was reading all your comments, I incorporated it really, really good. I added a little water just to make it a little bit more maneuverable, and we are going to use it to go ahead and fill in and color our embossed image. And it is going to look so good. I love, love, love this. Did you know you could paint with chroma mists? And they turn out so good. So this is a great way to get kind of a tone on tone look, and you don't need any kind of coloring skills at all. So we're just going to go ahead. I just have a regular paintbrush from my craft room here. And we're just going to go over all of the area and give it a nice color. And I spray too much on my pigment palette. I always do this. I have a heavy hand with mediums, which if you've ever been here on the live when I stencil something or use chroma paste or anything, I have a heavy hand with mediums. Oh, well. Okay. So we're going to color all of that. And then I'm going to grab a rag. And I'm just going to wipe over this. The reason I'm doing this super lightly, but I don't want to lose our embossing. I don't want to lose any of that beautiful silver. Okay. Yeah, those pimples, they are babies. Mine's a baby for sure. So you can see how that looks. And then because we kind of buffed it out. Then, so we're going to put paintbrush in the water, stick this aside, and it will dry, but then it can be hit it with some water. It'll reconstitute later on for another usage. So I'm going to take my blending brush now. Again, just that purple, or not the purple, the blue. I'm going to kind of go off the edge here and kind of come in because I just want to catch the edges of this set. So you can see here, like I'm just kind of coming in and catching just the edge of that stamped and embossed piece. And then kind of just letting it. We're almost doing like an ombre. So we're just catching like just the edges with that dark blue. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this alabaster glitter glaze. Now, I will admit that I tend to gravitate and grab the fallen snow. All the time, grab the fallen snow glitter glaze. But I used the alabaster for this project, and then I also used it for the project that we're going to do next week. So if you get the bundle for this week, set aside your alabaster because we're going to use it again next week too. Same with the Perfect Bling cardstock. Little hint for you. But I admit to being quite pleasantly surprised by this alabaster, and I think I like it a lot. All right, I just need a little tool. This is a little bigger than I want. Where's my little one? Hold on a second. There we go. We need the little one. Not the big tool, we need the little tool. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit, just a wee little bit. Let me get, I can get this up here. There we go. And just around the edges, we're going to put this glitter glaze. So we're going to get just tiny little bit. A little bit goes a long way. I just said I have a heavy hand with the mixed mediums, which I do, but just going to add it right along the edge. And I have one of these finished cards here that I can show you. So when we're all finished with tonight's card, I'll show you the one that's all dry and finished so you can really see it because we're actually going to put this on the card wet still. So whatever palette knife that you have that you feel comfortable, that feels comfortable in your hands, and you're good at manipulating it and you know how it kind of works, that's the one you want to use for this. Because you just want to get right along the edges. And it's pretty awesome how it looks when it all dries. it looks like, so when it all dries, it's going to look like there's like flurries, just a little bit of like snowflakes around the top, and it looks so good. So we're going to set this aside to dry, but it's not going to dry before we put it on the card. And then we're going to work with our mittens and our embossing powder. So we used the silver to heat emboss our stamped image. Now we're going to use the icicle. And so what I did was I die cut these little mittens from the Midnight cardstock, and then I took out the snowflakes in the middle because we're going to use those too, but I'm going to show you off camera before we started. I coated them in the icicle embossing powder. And now for the mittens, we're going to dip them. I wanted to give them the look of, so I can't be the only one. When you were a kid, you probably, your mom did this. You had those like knitted mittens, right? And she'd put them on you and you were so excited to get them. You'd go into the Kmart and there'd be big displays and you get those knit mittens, and they were probably like, I don't know, like $2 because your mom would let you get like 6 pairs. And you'd put them on and you'd go outside and you'd wear them all of, I don't know, 5 minutes. And then they would be wet. And then they would be like cold. And you'd stay out there with these wet mittens, probably till your hands were blue if you were me. But do you remember how they looked? Like they looked wet, like just the tips or like the whole top of them would look like they were like wet. That's what we're going for. Reliving your childhood here with wet mittens. Hi, Carol. Yeah, Sandy, you definitely could just use your fingers to do that, to get the glaze just around the edge of that stamped piece. Absolutely. That's a great idea, actually. So this is my Yucky embossing ink pad. I have 2. And I say this all the time. I'm new. So if you're new here, the one that looks eaten is the one we use for mixed media applications. And then I have like a pristine one that I use for stamping. So we have the eaten one today. And we're just going to, right on the edge, we're just going to add the embossing powder or the embossing ink right onto the edge of our die cut mittens here. And then just going to catch the edge of the, so I'm not coating all of the mittens with the embossing powder. I'm just coating the tips. And then when it dries, it's going to give us that look of freezing cold wet mittens. All right. Okay. And look how cute those look. Get them in the light a little bit. They have that wet mitten look. Okay. Yes. Sandy said, don't forget the rings around the wrist where the snow packs between the mittens and your sleeves. Yes, yes, exactly. Absolutely. That was a whole thing. All right. So basically, we're ready to kind of pull and put our card together. So this is our design. Now we're going to have to be really slow putting this all together because we still have to add the snow paste, which we're going to do. And then and our little mittens are not dry yet. Well, our little hands are not dry yet. Okay, so snow paste. Let's talk about this stuff. All right. So this is really cool. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. So I'm going to describe it to the best of what I think it must be to some extent. I feel like it's a whipped chroma glaze with big glitter in it. That's what it reminds me of. See, it's got all this like texture stuff going on. It's pretty cool. Okay. So that's what snow paste is. So what I'm going to do is I want to add the gloppy snow paste all around the edges. And this is why we can do this with this particular card project tonight, because I'm not using a stencil and I'm not doing like a whole panel. And so because I'm just doing the edges, I was like, well, we can put this card together then, being wet, because there's places we can touch and hold things and we don't have to worry too much about it. So remember what I said, I'm the girl with the heavy hand with the medium. So you don't have to put as much on as I do, but I am going to just put it all around the edges. And this does some fun stuff when it dries. So it's not going to look exactly the same wet. It kind of dries like sort of icy. I guess that's the word. A little bit clear. It's not as opaque as it appears when you first put it on. It sort of reminds me a little bit of the candy coat, except the candy coat is a bit stickier and a little bit thinner. This is a little thicker and a little chunkier than the candy coat. Oop. So you could, Sandy said earlier about using your fingers. You could totally use your fingers and do this. Whatever makes you most comfortable. And I'm kind of bringing it up here so you can really see how I am putting it on just around the edges. Hi, Susan. I'm doing okay. It's cold. It's very, very cold. It's I checked before, right at the beginning of the live, and it was exactly 0 here. And we're under all those kind of like extreme cold warnings and stuff. I am 100% focused on what I'm doing right now. All right. Ooh, I think I just hit the camera. Sorry about that. Oh, it's hi, Jamie. Jamie says it's 1 degree where she is. All right. So now we just have to be really careful while we put all this stuff down. Okay. Over. I'm going to use my glue because we're doing mediums on top of mediums. And I want everything to stick nice. And I'm just putting this stamped piece just right over the top of that snow paste on the edges, and it's going to be just fine. Now I did put it down. We will definitely have the bottom here that we can kind of go ahead and just trim off. Because I want to make sure we get our mittens up here. Now the mittens are going to be a little bit off of our card. Just like the hands holding the cocoa kind of come down, these are going to kind of go up. Jamie, you need these mittens. Absolutely. I agree. They're super cute. I knew I needed them the second that Christopher showed them on his live. It's like, yep, those have to come home to me. If you watched the one live when I did the scrapbook page, I talked about there how I am a lover of mittens. Not wearing them, but for decor and, you know, crafty projects, yes, give me all the mittens. So we have our mittens here. We're gonna pop them up in this corner. And we're gonna push them down. And again, I don't care that they're gonna be right on that snow paste on the edges, because really when it dries, it'll just be like extra adhesive. And then we have these little like coated snowflakes. We can put them wherever we want. I'm just going to kind of cluster them around. And they can go on top of our little snow person. Like them over here, I think. Yep, the coldest. Hey, Heather. I am so glad you're here. You're amazing. So I think it's supposed to be like today was cold, tomorrow's colder, but then like the coldest is Wednesday. So this is one of the stamps. It's one of the sentiments that's in our stamp set. That's part of the bundle tonight. I stamped it with the Simple Blend ink pad, and then I die cut it so you can see how that looks. And we're gonna put it right here, right in the middle of our cup of hot cocoa. So when everything dries, because our snow paste is still wet, the glitter glaze is still wet, then we can trim off the top of the mittens. We can trim off the bottom down here, but I'm going to go ahead and stick it in this little tray so I can show you what it looks like when it's all dry. So here is what everything looks like when it is dry. So you can see what the snow paste looks like. See how it has all this gorgeous, like chunky, snowy texture. But when you take it out, it's really white. So it's not really white when it dries. It's also kind of grabbing onto some of those little bits and pieces on of the ink and reacting to the ink, which is really, really cool. So there is that snow paste and how it looks all dry. And then the other thing is, if you look here at the around the edges, see how it looks like there's just a little bit of snow kind of falling. I hope the light is catching it. And our wet mittens. So that's what it looks like when it's all dry. So pretty. I love this card because it has that kind of whimsical, artsy look to it. It's not, like the card we did last week was a little bit cleaner. We did the donuts with the paper pieced things, and this card's a little bit messier, a little bit artsier. Still really pretty. So if you're interested in the bundle, make sure to grab down in the description box to get it. And then also, when you get your bundle, just know if you want to play along for next week, set aside your perfect blend cardstock out of the bundle and the alabaster glitter glaze and the bundle for next week. Because I want to try to incorporate, we're going to incorporate some of the elements into next week's project too. And I think that will be really fun because then if you purchase a bundle and you get a bundle, I want to make sure you know how to do more than just one thing with the products in there. So there we go. What do you guys think tonight? Does anyone have any questions? Heather says she quits. I quit too. This is for the birds. I don't like this cold weather at all. Any questions? Yes. Ellen, this is a gorgeous winter card. And it's winter in Texas this week. Thank you, Karen. Oh, Heather is telling you there are 2 brand new events on the BritishMonroeEvents.com page. And I believe she sent me one of those events earlier today. And I have not had a chance to really look at it yet. Yeah, I like to play with the mixed media goodies too. I just love this. This card front, it almost reminds me of like an art journal page or something, like something really artsy and like layered and fun and really neat. So thank you so much, Karen. It is way too cold. That's all right though. We'll survive. Yeah, Carol, it's winter in Texas. See, I picked the perfect week. Make sure you check out those events. There's two the card making events. One of them is coming up pretty soon. I believe it is February 1st. So and check those out because it looks super fun. So make sure to take a look at the events page or the events website. I believe when Heather sent me the info, one was a card making event and one was for kids, which would be really, really cool. So that is awesome. Yep, there we go. Galentine crafting and kids Valentine's Day crafting. Yep. So that's super fun. All right. So there's one for kids, one for adults. There is in-person options and virtual options. So whichever if you can make it down to Pittsburgh, you can go in person, and if you can't, there's a virtual option. So that's really cool. Alrighty. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. I am so happy you chose to join me tonight. And I will see you again next week. I will give you a little bit of hint for next week's card. We have a little bit of the Doctor Who vibes going on next week. My kids are huge Doctor Who fans. I watched Doctor Who since I was a little kid. And when I pulled this bundle together and did the card for next week, I was like, I want a little bit of that like Doctor Who thing going on. So good night, everyone. You are so welcome, Carol. Good night, Penny. Good night, Heather. I will talk to you all again